Seth, it's Friday. It's snowing, man. How we doing out there?
It is doing well. It's amazing how quickly things shifted. I think last time we recorded, I was in shorts, and that was a week ago. So
Dude.
things pivot quickly, but we're into deep cuffing season here at D-Side Stories. We're ready to buckle down in our apartments and be bums.
That's right, man. It's like I'm wearing full on pajama gear now. There's no gym. There's nothing.
I was
It's
going to say, I don't know that that's that big of a change for you, but
yeah. Well, I do have some more formal nightwear.
yeah.
I do try to mix up the pajama wear, but I'm really excited for this episode because this is actually part three of our D side decides. And for those of you who have just joined in and just this is your first episode for D side decides, this is where Seth and I take a topic, debate. We should say more than less than decide. We debate. And we obviously want to get your feedback. And here we go. Are you ready, Seth?
I am ready to go. We've got some good ones today, I think.
That's right. And there may be some mystery ones there just to make
Yes.
Seth nervous.
Love it.
Number one, Seth. And I want to preface saying that we respect all those that have passed away or have had any hardship. But let's get into this. Number one, Aaron Carter. Who's to blame?
Good question. So for those who don't know or whatever, Aaron Carter, younger brother of Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys, after many years of saying very incendiary things on social media and podcasts and all that kind of stuff, died last week at the age of 34, ostensibly of an overdose slash suicide. Important context.
Yes.
I okay, I don't know if it's a theory, but I may have even mentioned it on
A
the
conspiracy
podcast.
theory, right? It's
We love a good conspiracy theory here, but this is more just like something I've heard before that I think
yeah.
ties into this. Is that basically people stop maturing emotionally when they get famous. Like however old you are when you get famous, that kind of is who you are for the rest of your life, because from then on out, you're not a normal person.
Yeah.
People do things for you. You don't really need to change or evolve. People will kind of give you a pass and whatever. And
Yeah.
this is I believe it or not, I think I've said this before. I think actually it's George Clooney that came up with this. And he was like, I was like 30 something when I got famous. So I'm kind of a normal guy, but I empathize for people who get famous very young
Yeah.
because they don't mature because they never need to. You see this a lot with young celebrities. So I guess I blame fame. I think he never was able to sort of adapt to the life that he kind of didn't really choose for himself. I think he was sort of thrust into it, especially once his brother got famous. I think you're always sort of chasing that, and I think when you feel like you can't live up to it, that dictates how you behave. And so, of course, he was directly involved, and not to say he couldn't make better decisions, but I think ultimately, kind of fame and a lack of structure to handle fame is what spelled the end for Aaron Carter. How about you?
Well, that's a very mature answer.
I'm a mature guy.
Gonna go the other way.
I never got famous young, so I'm very mature.
I want to go the other way. I blame Paris Hilton. Now, let me show you the logic, or let me kind of
go on.
this. Okay, Paris Hilton broke up with Nick Carter. That bummed out Nick Carter, which made him have a horrible relationship with his brother Aaron Carter, which led to a life of drugs and depression, and unfortunately, death. So, Paris, I put it on you.
This is not where I expected you to go, my friend, but I don't hate it.
Hey, it's a new season, Seth. It's a new season.
It's a new Scott.
It's a new Scott. It's just, yeah, I'm getting angry now. It's a cold out. I'm not in California. I'm sitting here and
poor Paris. Okay. I take it. I like it. Okay.
All right.
Let's keep it rolling.
Let's go to number two.
Yes. Is Pearl Jam, and this is one of Scott's, is Pearl Jam corny?
Yes.
And I would say Pearl Jam in 2022, right? Today's version of Pearl Jam.
Yes. We're talking about present day.
Yes. What's your take, Scott?
Yes. Full on yes.
Okay.
I respect the music. I respect all the work they've done, but are they corny? Are they the grunge, the philosophy, the whole spirit behind it? No, they're essentially the modern day Hootie and the Blowfish, corporate rock. All right, I'm gonna call it right now. It's corporate rock.
All right, steamy. I disagree. I think that Pearl Jam is not corny, because I think you made a good point about the grunge thing. You're right. They kind of are not grunge, even though they're certainly not the music they put out now. But I don't know that they ever wanted to be that. And I think their Nirvana thing happened, and like music is truly like I think we said it last week, but
Yeah.
the dividing point was Nevermind coming out, and everybody
Yep.
got bucketed into that, especially because they were from Seattle. And I think after a few albums, by the time like Vitology came out, they were kind of like, hey, we don't want to be these like angsty voice of a generation rock stars. We kind of want to just put out like Neil Young music. And so I think they're not corny. They kind of never tried to be cool. And so when you didn't start there in the first place, and you sort of evolved out of it into old man version of yourself, you just are that. To me, you get a pass because like you are who you are. So I say not corny.
All right.
Yeah, that's my take.
We agree to disagree there. Number 3, is Dave Rooney Nirvana legacy by being corny? Again, the word corny is coming up.
Yeah, maybe it makes us corny by using it. But good question.
Come on, say it.
I say no. I don't think so. Okay, so we've talked about him before too, but like
I sense some hesitation there, Seth.
Well, I want to be articulate. Just not just throw out Paris Hilton type claims. I think that he's really enjoyed this role of being like the rock and roll like godfather, where he'll show up to any any festival, any award ceremony, especially. He'll do tributes to anybody. He just kind of is like the elder statesman of rock, and that's a little corny, but I don't think it's untrue to who he is. I think it's a musician aging gracefully, and I don't think that ever would affect or tarnish. If he was doing something really incendiary or trying to be something he wasn't, that would almost be worse for Nirvana's legacy. But I think the fact that he's done his own band with his own songs and kind of they've never tried to really revisit it or kind of abuse the legacy in any way. I think he's been respectful of it. And so I don't think that it's fair to say his corniness or his continued existence in pop culture should affect how we feel about Nirvana. But maybe you disagree.
I'd say this, that I agree with you that he is being himself. And I just think he's kind of a nice guy. He'd be that jolly, kind of nice, corny kid. And I'm not saying corny's
that's
bad.
Really good at guitar and drums.
He's just like, exactly. Well, I look at it like, I like my rock stars dangerous, self-destructive.
I thought you were going to say dead.
And dead. No, I think it's a business that I find that if you're going to get into it, and what's exciting about it is all the things that we can't be, right? All the things that we can't afford, or just that and I think there's that aspiration to him. Seems like a great guy, just like Eddie Vedder. Like, they're making music, they're enjoying all the benefits of society and the establishment. I just find it very boring. It's just like super friendly. And I don't think there's anything wrong intrinsically with that. It's just that for me personally, I like rock stars that more on the Axl Rose, like just.
I would argue that Axl Rose is way cornier.
Okay. No, I'd say this, but just someone who is just very unpredictable, very dangerous, and disruptive. And that's just a personal preference. So I think, hey, there's out there that kind of like more of the safe musical entertainment. That's where I think he's at. It's entertainment. I'd say Pearl Jam is entertainment now. It's not an experience. So,
well, to counter your Axl Rose statement, I just have 3 words for you: white guy cornrows. So, next question.
Okay.
Next question.
All right, that was a good one. Should Madonna be banned from Twitter?
No. I mean, no one should be. I mean, within reason, no one should be banned. If you're a ridiculous person and you're just saying incendiary things, what has Madonna been famous for her whole career? It's like getting people angry. And before the internet ever existed, it's pushing people's buttons. It's staying relevant. It's doing things that are getting people talking about her. And to me, Twitter is such a natural extension of that that it would almost be dishonoring her legacy to take a self-promotional tool away from Madonna. I say nay. How about you?
I agree. I think no one should really be banned from Twitter. And Madonna, it's just good conversation. I think you see someone who's struggling to be relevant, and it's kind of fun to watch. And I give her a lot of credit for still trying to want to get in there. Still
And I was
trying to
gonna
want to
say,
be relevant.
and it's almost unfair to like to frame it as like struggling when you've managed to be relevant for 40 years,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
That's incredible unto itself what
Yeah.
she's done. So
Yeah.
Madonna, keep shit posting on Twitter, please. This is a little less of a funny one, but I'm curious your thoughts on this one.
Oh
Graham
yeah.
Parsons, overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Okay, so we should probably define Graham Parsons
Yeah.
of the legendary Flying Burrito Brothers.
Yeah, Flying Burrito Brothers, member of the Byrds, solo records, but
Yep.
really was the
Country.
one of the architects of that Laurel Canyon country rock
Yep.
sound, and died. Didn't even make it. I forget if he was a 27 club or maybe even died before 27, maybe 26.
I think terribly underrated. Just that most people, probably those on our listeners, don't even know who he is, or may have heard the name like, peripherally, or just kind of. I think he's music. I think he's influenced so many people and hasn't gotten the credit that he's deserved. So underrated.
I agree, although I think he's starting to creep towards properly rated because probably the internet, like just revisionist or not revisionist history, but like people having the ability to dig a little bit deeper. I think they're finding those old Graham Parsons records. I think that, again, people like me, frankly, who just like, I didn't know a ton about him 5 years ago, but it seems to me between podcasts, like he just keeps popping up places. So in a good way, he's creeping towards the properly rated meter. We'll see how that looks in 3 or 4 years. Yeah, so we'll see.
All right.
All right. How about the next one? Best use of an offbeat instrument in a pop or rock song.
Oh, that's a good one, Seth. I got to give you credit there. Wow. Okay. Best use of an offbeat instrument in a pop rock song. Let me think. Okay. So one that immediately comes to mind, and I don't know if this is terribly offbeat, but let's say it's not a normal instrument. Cowbell, Mountain, Mississippi Queen.
Oh, thank you for not going Blue Oyster Cult and making the obvious.
Hey, this is an amazing song from 1970 or 69, and it just starts off. And nice. So let me tell you the story behind this really quickly. They used it as a counter, and they loved it so much they just kept it in, right? So I thought it was a brilliant use, and it came out way earlier than Blue Oyster Cult or even Motley Crue.
Yeah, I like that one a lot, actually. And it's a great, like, I don't even need to have that first guitar riff hit to know exactly what the song is. So,
exactly.
Excellent choice. So I'm going to go even weirder in terms of instrument, and I'm going to go with the use of the theremin on Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys.
Oh, wow.
Which is literally it's not even really an instrument. It's like a scientific tool, but it kind of has this very, like, you hear it in like spooky movies. You'd know it if you heard it. It's like that.
Yeah.
And you see it's literally a metal rod and someone putting their hand farther and closer to it. It's barely an instrument, but it does get used in other stuff. And I know Brian Wilson is really famous for using weird stuff. I mean, if you've ever seen the movie Walk Hard, they make fun of it relentlessly. But it actually sounds kind of cool. And it's also important to think about, in that time, no one was experimenting like that. Maybe besides the Beatles, which I get shit for chatting out, but but that, I just thought the theremin is a hilarious quote unquote instrument to be used. But
I'll tell you what, that is interesting. I have can I list some other two that I just came to mind?
Yeah.
But I think okay. Depeche Mode, Get the Balance Right. They use this like New Zealand. I'll send it to our audience here. I don't know the name, so I apologize. But it's this. You did a good version of yours, Seth. I don't know. It kind of makes this very exotic sound. That one,
like
and
a didgeridoo.
It's a
like an Aboriginal.
Yeah,
I bet it's a didgeridoo. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Didgeridoo. The other one
did it. Nicely done.
The other one is a xylophone with psychedelic furs. Love My Way. I grew up and I was like, what is that instrument? And when you see the video, there it is. So
very cool.
But I gotta say yours is really interesting. Okay, Seth, next one. Does album track ordering matter anymore?
I say the music nerd in me wants to say yes, that it's like certain albums are made to be a masterpiece, but I think the way music is consumed now, the answer is no. I think that there's such a premium placed on singles and individual songs. It's not really about the sort of the full portrait, with rare exception, but let's keep the exception an exception and just say in modern music, track list does not matter because that's not how people consume music anymore.
Agree. I just don't think it's relevant. I don't think anyone consumes or thinks about it in that track because everything is just customizable.
And I'm not saying once again that we agree or anything, because I
Yeah.
think there are some real masterpiece albums from, let's call it 20 years ago and beyond, that the
Yeah.
thoughtfulness of the album track list kind of makes it. And that's
Oh,
once
for
again just
sure.
not how, just doesn't matter anymore.
I mean, if you think about, but I would just, caution people when you're listening to albums like Tommy from The Who, a rock opera, there's a flow and it tells a story. So it's essentially you're reading chapters. So
Yeah,
I threw that in. I snuck that one in.
it's a good one.
Seth, next one. What is the worst musical movement that actually gained traction?
There's an obvious answer here that we've talked about, but I'm going to skip it and I'm going to be a little bit creative here. I'm going to go with this idea, maybe because just I hate it. Are you familiar with the genre of math rock, Scott?
No, man. I didn't even know that existed.
Oh God, it combines two things I hate, which are pretentious people and mathematics. And it's basically it's the people who play it are generally very skilled guitar players, but they use very weird time signatures and they bounce around a lot. And it's like, I can't tell if this is even a song or they're jamming, but people who like it are like, oh my God, they're virtuosos. And it's like, it's like, if you don't like it, then you don't get it. And it's one of those kind of genres. And I just can't fucking stand the concept of it. So there's that was just my opportunity to rant about math rock. So thank you.
That is a fascinating math. I've never, what's a band that is there a band or is it just individual?
Oh yeah, I couldn't name it off the top of my head, but every time something gets sent to me or pops up on a playlist, I'm like, what the fuck is this? So apologize to all those huge nerds out there listening inside of a locker right now. But
wow,
yeah, terrible. I'm out.
That is a strange one. For me, what is the worst musical movement that actually gained traction? So this would be is actually successful.
Yeah,
man, I hate to say it. I don't even want to say it, but I'm just gonna. Okay, yeah, it's new metal. Yeah. I couldn't stand it. All right, let's move on.
The fruit was hanging too low. We had to
just everyone. Florida. I'm not a fan. Okay. Yeah. Florida rock. Is Kanye crazy or just a marketing genius? Now this could be a whole separate podcast.
Yeah, this could be not even an episode, like a whole separate podcast.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
But I'll just leave my answer at short and sweet and just say both. I think he's incredibly intelligent and knows how to market himself, but I think it's not everything he does, especially lately, has been driven by some ingenious marketing scheme. I think he has legitimate issues, but he's both. He's both.
Yeah, I actually agree. I agree with you 100%. Nothing to add there. Yeah. Okay, next one. So do I even need to talk about this one? I mean, let's just pause right here. Can we just skip it? I mean,
yeah, we're skipping it because I think there's enough meat here for another episode. So we'll keep that one as a surprise.
Okay.
Number 11, or what number 11 on our little list, favorite drummer of all time. So this is not an argument. It's more just, I'm curious your thoughts. Yeah. I don't know that we've ever talked about it.
Oh man. People that know me, you're going to know this answer. Who do you think it is for me, Seth?
I think it's John Bonham.
Yeah, obviously. The best ever.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try to guess for you.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're a little more sophisticated than I am. Maybe Buddy Rich.
No, I'm not as sophisticated as you give me credit for.
I threw that in. Okay, let me think here.
Oh yeah.
It's not Ringo, and it's
Ringo's awesome, but
yeah, awesome, underrated, I would say.
Yeah,
Neil Peart. That's the other one.
Incredible technical prowess. I appreciate it. Kind of almost math rock adjacent. So I'm just like, it's too much for me. There's too much going on. So my answer, another favorite on the show, is Lee Von Helm. I love his playing. I love his singing. Kind of made the band, which is a band that I care a lot about. So I would say all around, not even drumming, not favorite most technical player, but favorite all-around drummer, Lee Von Helm. That's what
okay. Of the band,
yes.
Let me throw another one in there that I don't know the name, so I technically wouldn't say is my favorite, but one that I've respected, at least from a sound point of view. Joy Division, drummer of Joy Division.
I'm embarrassed that I don't know off the top of my
Okay,
head.
yeah, I don't know that either. A great band, but very innovative drumming that when I first heard it, it just sounded new, even today.
Yeah.
Next one.
Cool.
Most surprising band to have a hit. Now we're talking either like a weird sound or just very strange looking,
Yeah.
which are many. Want me to start?
Oh yeah. Well, sorry, I
got
forgot when you're asking it to me. Yeah.
yeah, I got two here. Okay.
Okay.
One was a band 1980. They were huge and just so bizarre. Devo.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course.
Everyone, can you picture the hats? The cone,
Yes.
not quite cone. They're like a little, like a more, not the Egyptian pyramids, but more like the Mayan pyramids.
I was gonna say, yeah, Quetzalcoatl or whatever. Yeah.
It's a Chichen Itza on the head. That one, here's another one that came from college. Can't say I was a fan, but I got to respect that. It was a different sound, different name. Crash Test Dummies.
Oh yeah.
That song.
Yeah.
Mm.
They asked me to be their new lead singer. I turned it down. So do you know why? I actually don't know that this is true or not. But supposedly, do you know the reason why he had such a deep voice?
Was there an operation or was there?
No. Supposedly he has a third testicle.
Oh,
that is, I'm not making that up. That's a real thing. That's supposedly true.
So that makes your voice.
I guess it's more testosterone. I do not know.
Bro, I got to investigate that.
I saw an interview with the guy who said it, and I just don't know if it was a bit or he was being serious because it was kind of a lighthearted show. But again, not Google check, but that's supposedly where the voice comes from.
The tripod. So how does that explain Barry White? I mean, that dude.
Oh, he's got to have like 7.
He's got a basket.
He's got.
It's just he carries it around with a satchel. Or what about Elizabeth Holmes? Doesn't she have a deep voice?
No comment there. No comment
there. Okay. Okay, next one. Oh my gosh. Speaking about the best use of musical clout for political influence.
Or gain. Like, I guess I was thinking about this 2 ways. One being like, has any musician used their... I actually have, I think, a good answer here. But like, as a musician, used their influence to help a politician or gotten into politics, etc. And I think there's a lot of examples of, whether it's fundraisers, whatever. Do you have any thoughts on this, Scott?
Yeah. And we'll bring in our good friend, Brian Payne. Brian, if you're listening, buddy, you still haunt us. This one would be Bono.
Yeah.
Guy's done a lot, with every political character for the past 20 some years, even more.
Well, my answer, I think, this will be the only time that these two guys are the same answer to the same question. I would say it's Bill Clinton. This is a guy who was relatively unknown when he was running for president, governor of Arkansas. And he went on a bunch of shows, including Arsenio Hall, and played the saxophone. And so maybe I'm kind of like twisting my own question to my benefit, but it's like using he made himself cool. It's like, wow, this guy plays the sax. He wears sunglasses, and he's running for president. He must be for me. So he generated a huge amount of interest with young people through that type of outreach. And the saxophone thing was huge. He was like, he became cool, especially when he's running against Bush, who's extremely uncool. It was really influential, I think.
Bush was definitely into math rock. I think that was
Josh, probably
Devo too.
Not that I doubt, but
okay. Who is to blame? Next one. Who is to blame? This is I gotta tell you something. When I read this.
Let's skip this one. Okay, too heavy.
I didn't know what to think. All right, let's go, because I got some mystery ones for here, Seth, that aren't on the list here. What's your worst concert experience you had?
So for me, I hate to say this because I've actually seen them and they've been really good.
Yeah.
But I saw the band The National. I think I've seen them a handful of times. I think this show was at a festival in Chicago, and the lead singer, he famously has like crippling stage fright. So his solution for that is he gets very drunk. And this time he was like Jim Morrison drunk. At one point, he tripped over a monitor and almost fell off the stage. He was in the crowd. They had to snake his mic out to him, which I know they do other times, but he was like almost he barely sounded like the same guy, and he's got a really deep voice. He was like scratching, he was yelling. It was just weird. It like made me uncomfortable almost. So that kind of bummed me out. But then I saw them like the next year, they were 80% the same, but he just almost like he had 2 less beers and he was great.
Yeah.
So that was the one that came to mind when I was thinking about that question. How about you?
Ooh, this is going to be tough. Okay. And I'm going to apologize in advance to all of our fans, but I hate to say it. It was Bob Dylan,
No, that checks out.
1993. Went and saw him in Berkeley. And honestly, bro, I got to tell you, like, you could not understand what he was saying. It was like,
That's a pretty good Dylan, actually. It's a pretty good Dylan.
I mean, listen, and for everyone that I'm an enormous Dylan fan, right? I think it's just one of the most innovative writers of all time. But the singing was tough, and I think it just everyone felt bad because everyone kind of knew. It's like here's a legend, you're seeing him, and it's.
And was there also a sense of like, is he getting old? Is this an intentional? Like that's what I've never understood about Dylan is sometimes he'll be really nasally. Like he's even sounded different. And it feels like a choice. I don't know. Another one in that vein is, I've never seen him, but is like that is Van Morrison. People say if you catch him on the right night, he like will blow your mind. And if he's in a pissy mood, it's like unbearable to watch him. Like he'll turn his back. He won't really sing. And I feel like they're both similarly curmudgeon-y when it comes to live performance. So
I got to tell you. This is going to be a good one. Okay, here we go. What is your recent hidden gem song discovery, Seth?
Yeah, so this is one I have to, as I often do, give a shout out to my friend Minta on this one. But this is what I've been
Minta.
Yeah, she knows what's up. But I've been looping this song. It's called "I Just Want to Talk to You" by Charles Brown and Sleepy Creek. I thought this song was straight up like Laurel Canyon 70s. Like even the production of it, even the album cover looks like it's from 1973. It's maybe 2 or 3 years old, and it's just a great song. So if anybody's looking to try something new, it's like 3 minutes long. Check that one out. That'd be mine. How about yours, Scott?
Man, I hate to admit this. I really don't want to say it, but I have to be true to you, Seth, as a friend, and to our audience here. It's Dave Matthews Band, just in general. Okay.
Baby. Okay.
All right. Like I just did not want to like this band. And Brian, our good friend Brian, he was on the show, sent me a list of songs, and he actually created the playlist. And I had truly a sit down with Dave Matthews Band, and I listened to a lot of the songs on Crash. And and I gotta say, when you just don't look at him, because I just always thought he looked like Forrest Gump, and I just think about the days at Stanford and just fraternity bros dancing, and it just was somewhat, I just did not want to like that. I didn't want to be a part of that, but I got to admit there's a lot of talent there, and I've actually listened to it a couple of times. So Brian,
what is your song of note? What is your hidden gem on an album that sold 10 million copies? What's hidden there for you, Scott?
Well, I like the title track, Crash Into Me. It's a very slow kind of, again, when you don't see his face, I think I appreciate it. So that one I've listened to. I even listened to it like staring at the snow out here.
I was going to say, have you cried to it? That's really what we need to know.
I think I cried that I was listening to it. I think that was the more thing. And just seeing Brian's face in pure satisfaction of like, yeah, Scott, see, I converted you.
Being angry at yourself. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's one. And Seth, okay, I got a mystery one for you. Here's a surprise one. Everyone, this is not on the list. Seth, what's the theme song for SPF, Crypto King, FTX?
Sam Bankman-Fried, R.I.P. my boy.
By the way, there's going to be a great movie about this. But this.
Oh, how about this? I'm not a song, but Mike. You know who's been embedded with him for a year? Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis snipped this shit out way before anybody else. And was like, "There's something up with this dude." Has been following him around. That is going to be such a good ass book. But his theme song, boy.
I'll help you out here. Want me to help you out?
Yeah, please.
Steve Miller Band.
Take the money and run.
There
There's
you
no
go.
more money. He should have taken the money and run. It's
No,
fucked.
he did. We thought he took $1 billion. I love how it was an inside job. Okay, and I gotta say this is for Omaha University, Stanford, right? We had his girlfriend Carolyn Ellison, who was also doing some shady stuff. Stanford grad. Another one who's being sentenced today. Right? We're not a political show, but it's just kind of fun. Elizabeth Holmes. What's her theme song?
Oh boy, it might be Crash Test Dummies because she might actually be the secret singer of it.
She is the third nut. The experiments really did work. I don't know what happened.
It's miracle. Really miracle solution.
I'm the next Steve Jobs.
All your problems.
Okay,
Yes.
everyone. Okay, everyone. Listen, I don't know who won that one there, but I gotta tell you, all I'm thinking about is that dude from Crash Test Dummies now, and why he wore those '90s baggy pants. It all makes sense.
It checks out. It checks out.
So everyone, if go have a listen again. Thank you so much. Again, listen, everyone. We want to hear your answers. Seth and I have just been spouting our very strong opinions here, but we really want to know what you think. Feel free to contact us on any of our social media, and we look forward to hearing from you. Seth,
Yes.
any last words here, buddy?
Nope. Just as we all know, the real winner here is the Children's Hospital. So thank you, everybody.
That's right. See you, everyone. Have a good weekend.